Arnie, thanks so much for taking the time. I'm talking today with Arnie Gullov-Singh with Adly, and I've been wanting to talk to you for quite some time. Mark Schuster, our mutual friend, has just gone on and on about what a pro you are and what a great team you've assembled and the exciting work that you guys have been doing at Adly. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know with your second child, 2 weeks old, you're quite a busy man on the personal front as well as professional front. So thank you.
Happy. Thanks, John.
Arnie, let's just jump right into it. I'm curious just to hear your thoughts on the value proposition and, just in terms of why does the world need Adly? What do you bring into the world that, that everyone needs to know about?
Well, so if you look at social media, I think the underlying artifact of the ecosystem is that people are following other people. And I think any attempt to monetize social media has to embrace that artifact. And so if you're a brand or a merchant or someone trying to sell something to someone, you start to look at those people as consumers. Mm-hmm. And so with consumers following people, the next question is, well, who are the people that can help me reach the consumers I'm trying to reach? So if I'm trying to reach moms, who are the people that help me reach moms? If I'm trying to reach, tech gadget geeks, who are the people that are going to help me reach gadget geeks?
Right.
And when we looked at that problem, it became clear pretty quickly that the people with scale are famous people. And, it's nothing to do with social media. And so we set about building a network of influential people and famous people, celebrities, and an engine that can understand who's following them so that, when a marketer says, I'm looking to reach moms on Twitter, we can match them with, a couple of dozen celebrities and say, all of these women reach moms on Twitter.
Right. Yeah, so I love business models that take tried and true, proven ways of making money and just applying them in new ways. I mean, think about Wheaties back in the 1920s. I mean, they had Babe Ruth on the cover of the box for a reason, right? Or Jim Thorpe or Johnny Weissmuller. So in my mind, being a novice and sort of layman outside looking in, it looks like you're taking the Wheaties box and just putting it into terms of 2012 marketing.
So, yeah, there's no doubt that that if you use the example of the cereal box, the cereal box was something that everybody looked at every morning as they had their cereal,
right.
And so you had a captive audience and you had the attention. And I think in social media, that it's very hard to get someone's attention, but the captive audience is in the news feed or is looking at the timeline on Twitter, and so that's why it makes a lot of sense for marketers to be there.
Right, for sure. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Tweetdeck with $40 million acquisition. I'm interested to hear how you see the market emerging in the next 3 to 4 years, and then what role will a mature Adly play in that new market?
So I looked at you look at what's happening in the ecosystems around different platforms, and you always see this when a platform evolves. At some point, the company that builds the platform starts to slow down.
Right.
And, in order to kind of tick all the boxes on the roadmap, they have to start partnering or they have to start acquiring. And so I think TweetDeck's a very natural acquisition. They're catering to a certain type of user on Twitter and, certainly bring talent that knows how to build Twitter applications, which, if you're Twitter is something that's very important to you as you try and grow out your audience. Trying to look ahead 3 years. I mean, if I knew where it was going to be, I think I would. I think I'd have made a few investments by now. It's very, very hard to tell. I've been monetizing social media for 6 years, and started off with Flickr when it got acquired by Yahoo.
Yep.
And we struggled to monetize that with text ads from the Overture platform. And then going over to MySpace and Fox Interactive Media and trying to monetize 9 billion page views a day, half of them on photo pages.
Yep.
Yeah, it became pretty obvious that you can't monetize social media with traditional ad products. And so I think wherever the ecosystem goes, it's going to be embracing new ad formats and new ways of monetization that are kind of fundamentally in tune with the underlying artifact that consumers are following people. And I think you're going to see fewer and fewer sort of adjacency plays and more integration plays where the marketing message and the content are integrated. This is a theme that's sort of happening across the internet right now. You have you have branded entertainment on the video side. You have paid tweets through companies like us. You have celebrities tweeting about products and services all the time as part of a larger endorsement deal. And when you look at e-commerce, you see commerce companies like Gilt Group starting to bring content into the commerce experience. And so these lines that are blurring between editorial and advertising and editorial and commerce, I think they're going to continue to blur. And the companies that are successful in 3 years' time are the ones that will have realized that early and built a great consumer experience.
I totally agree with that. I think, as you say, with any marketing channel, there's going to be some products that are just well suited for that. The Wheaties box and Babe Ruth being a great pairing. And there's other products, obviously, that aren't going to work in every channel. Specific to Adly, what products or what promotions tend to really resonate best with your platform, and which ones really don't?
Well, it definitely works when you when you consider the intent of the consumer. So the intent of the consumer on Twitter is to see, is to discover things that are new. As much as a consumer will go to a search engine like Google to find out more information about things they've already heard about, they're going to Twitter and they're going to a lesser extent to Facebook to discover what's new and exciting today. So the products, services, campaigns, marketing, really good balance, between sort of commerce and content.
Right, I agree. Well, I think that segues into another area that was always very frustrating to me as a seller of GoToMyPC, GoToMeeting, other subscription-based services, where you have the people that don't, I don't ever want to see an ad in my Twitter stream. How dare you? They're the same people that would burn down the Capitol in Washington, D.C. if Twitter started charging for its services. So what is your response to that sort of, knee-jerk, the internet should be free reaction with respect to, what you guys are bringing to the market?
Well, when we look at Twitter, one of the things we did a few months ago was extend our analytics platform to really understand who is on Twitter and who is following the people who are in our network. And what we found pretty quickly was that there are different groups of people in different communities on Twitter. There's definitely the community that you and I are part of, and perhaps many of the people who will see this video are part of. And certainly if you follow the tech blogs and you're in the tech community, that's a very sort of vocal community.
Yes.
But it's a tiny community. It's really, if you're a top sort of blogger in our business, and you've got 30, 40,000 followers, you're doing pretty well. The several celebrities in our network generally have over 1 million followers, and those followers are consumers. And those followers are, men and women, young and old across the country and across the world who are following that celebrity because they look at that celebrity as a tastemaker. They look at them to introduce them to new trends, that are either directly associated with them personally or associated with the content that they're part of, such as a TV show or a movie or something like that. So, and that's a much, much, much bigger community. I think one of the great things about Twitter is that you can make it your own, and we can have our little sort of country club of people in the tech community, and we can sort of have our voice and be heard and promote our wares to each other, and so can the rest of the fans of celebrities. They can have their world with celebrities, and they can follow them and kind of interact with them the same way you and I are doing right here.
Right. Now, you make an interesting point. Someone that's a blogger in the tech world, if they do have 40,000 Twitter followers, they're at the pinnacle of that small microcosm. Clearly, that's not the case with traditional celebrities. How much reach does a celebrity have to have, be it friends on Facebook or Twitter followers, before it starts to make sense for you or for them economically?
Well, the way that we plan our campaigns out is typically across a network of celebrities. So it's rare that one particular individual has enough scale on their own to meet the goals of a marketer.
Mm-hmm.
But when you combine 3, 4, 5, maybe half a dozen, you start to get enough scale that it checks the box for a buyer and an agency to say, there's enough scale there to spend $40,000 as part of a larger campaign, or there's enough scale there to reach my audience on Twitter. And so it's less about what the individual has and more about the network. I can tell you there's probably about 100, maybe slightly over 100 people in our network with over 1 million followers each.
Wow.
And there's several hundred with over 100,000 each. It's rare that we put a plan that has fewer than 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes sense. And the analogy holds. If you think back to television back in the 1960s, you wouldn't really buy a show as much as you would buy a series of shows, right? You might be on all the soap operas or on all of the nightly news shows or whatever. So I think that analogy makes a ton of sense. You're not just buying one celebrity; you're buying a grouping of like-minded celebrities that have like-minded followers. That's really helpful. So if you could. If you had you don't look like a fairy, but if you were a fairy and had wings and had a magic wand, what would you want more of tomorrow? Do you want other celebrities you just haven't been able to hook up with? Are there advertisers that you would love to expose their brands into your Twitter stream, or is it employees? What are you looking for from the marketplace?
Well, so what we've seen over the past year, running 25,000 endorsements, is that we want to get more into the post-click experience. I think we see a lot of brands sort of buying media and just sending people somewhere to a website where there's not really a sense of measurement. And my background, my passion has always been in direct marketing because you can show results. And
Absolutely.
I always think that if you can show ROI, you're kind of top of mind. And if you can't show ROI, you're competing on sales and service. And
Yep.
I'd much rather compete on ROI than anything else. So where we're actually going as a company is expanding our platform into the post-click experience. And in the next couple of months, we'll be announcing some really, I think, surprising changes to people, but certainly very innovative and a natural extension of what we've learned over the last year of being in this business.
Oh, that's near and dear to my heart because I'm a DR guy. Direct response is where I like to spend my money as an advertiser for sure. Well, Arnie, this has been extremely helpful. I know that the viewers of my blog are going to get a lot out of this, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to chat with me. So thanks again.
Hey, it's been great, John. Thank you very much. Take care.
Yeah, likewise.